welcome to your Monday morning stretch. I hope you've had a good start to your day already and you're ready to stretch and loosen off and mobilise with me. So we're going to start in standing for our stretch, and we've got some cat-cow variations, we've got some spine circles, and we've got some side lean just to loosen out. Then we're going to move down onto the mat and we're going to repeat some very similar movements in seated. And then we'll do a few deeper stretches. So it's mostly going to be about sort of hips, lower back, lots of nice kind of rotational stretchy movements. You're not going to need too much special equipment for this particular routine. When we come down onto the floor, you might want a block or a cushion just to help with that seated position. As I said, we are getting up and down off the floor, so if you want to use a chair or a piece of furniture nearby just to help with that, then make sure that you are safe and comfortable to do so. You're going to need your mat. You're going to need a little bit of space to move your arms and legs in all directions. Apart from that, it should be pretty straightforward. Now, you know the rules. If you experience any pain or discomfort during any of the movements, then I want you to make sure that you either stop or modify that something that suits you better. If you feel unwell, make sure you stop. And if you're exercising alone, it's a really good idea to have a method of communication nearby. Have your phone handy just in case you need to reach out for any help. Okay, should we get started then? So a nice firm stance for me to begin with. Think about planting your feet firmly into the ground, equal weight between the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe of the heel. Lifting up through the crown of the head and just roll your shoulders up, round and back once for me. Opening out the front of the chest. Good stuff. Now we're going to nod the chin down towards the chest and then back up into center. Good. Do that again. Chin down towards the chest and back up to center. Let's make that a slightly bigger movement now. So chin down to chest. Round your shoulders forward a little bit. Slide the hands towards the knees along the fronts of the thighs and then come all the way back up. So starting to bring in a little bit more spine curl now. So chin to chest, round the shoulders. Slide the hands down the fronts of the thighs towards or maybe even a little bit beyond the knees and all the way back up. We'll do one more like that. And all the way back up. Good. Okay, hands onto hips now. I want you to shift your weight over towards one side, but still keeping both feet firmly planted to the floor. So you're kind of leaning over one way a little bit. Now lean forwards, rounding the shoulders, tucking the chin towards the chest. Lean into the other side and come back up. So that's one circle. We're going to do another two in that same direction. So we go to the side, you curve the spine, chin towards the chest. Move round to the other side and then come up tall. Let's do one more circle to the side, round, up, and the middle. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to circle around the other way. So to the side, round the chest, round the upper body a little bit, over to the other side, and center. Again, over, curve and round, middle, and up. Let's do that one more time. Over, curve and round, middle it, and up. Brilliant. Give the arms a little shake, give the legs a little shake, and we're going to move down onto the floor now, and we're going to come into a seating position. Now, ideally, I'd like you to sit cross-legged, and you could use a block or a cushion maybe just to help boost you up a little bit if you need to. If this really doesn't feel comfortable for you, then your alternative is to sit with your legs out in front, knees bent, and holding on to the fronts of your knees. I guess you could do this in a chair, actually, if that feels better. So you've got that as an option too if you've got a chair nearby. But ideally, we'll get you in this cross-legged position. So we're going to do those spinal rotations that we practiced in standing, but we're going to do it in a seated position. So if you hold on to your knees, and this works if you've got legs out in front as well, and you're going to use your knees a little bit like an anchor. So we're going to come backwards. So nodding the chin to the chest. If I come sideways a little bit, and I'm kind of using my hands to anchor myself on my knees so I can pull my shoulder blades apart before then coming back up. So we'll just do that forwards and backwards bit first, and then we can add in the rotations. So we're going to go chin to chest, anchoring through the knees, pulling the shoulder blades apart, and then come up tall. Good, do that again. Pull through, open out the middle back, and up tall. Should you go on last one? Pull through, open out the middle back, and then come up tall. Brilliant. Okay, we'll add in those little rotations. So for this one, again, we're anchoring onto our knees. If you can lean forwards a little bit, so a nice straight back position, leaning forwards. Then you're going to shift your weight over towards one side, bring yourself back, anchoring through the knees, circle round, shift your weight to the other side before coming up and in the middle. We'll do 2 more in that same direction. So we shift, we come back and round, over to the other side, and really exaggerate that position up in center. Once more around this way. So shift, curl around, hanging off the knees, over you go, and up in the middle. Round the other way now. So shift your weight over, curl around, over to the other side, and up in the middle. Again, shift. Try and keep both sitting bones down towards the floor, over and round. Shift to the other side, and up in the center. Let's just do that once more time around, shifting over, curling round, over to the other side, and come up tall. Lovely. Give yourself a little jiggle, and then we're going to unfold one leg, or if you've been sitting with both legs out in front, then you're just going to flop one knee down to the floor, straighten the other leg out to the side. So again, you might need your block, your cushion, just to help you come up into that nice, strong, seated position, where ideally we won't want both bottom cheeks towards, if not on the floor. Now we're going to turn your breastbone so that it's now facing your big toe. So twisting through the center and breastbone facing towards the big toe. Frame your leg, so you've got a hand either side of your leg, and then we're just going to creep your fingers forward, reaching towards the toes, trying to keep the torso square. We'll hold this for one big inhale, exhale. Good, and then creep those fingers back, come into center. Now we're going to twist towards your bent knee, framing the foot, not the foot, the knee either side, so hand either side of the knee. And then a similar sort of thing, we're going to lean forward, breastbone going towards that knee, and then come back up. Good. Circle back round into center, and then we're going towards the straight leg side again. So frame the feet, crawl yourself forwards, feeling a pull at the back of the thigh. Hold it here for one deep breath. Good. Unfold. We're going to bring the hands round now. This time, rather than framing the knee, we're going to have both hands towards the outside of your thigh there. So you're trying to push into the heel on the straight leg side, and you're twisting over here. Pushing both sitting bones down towards the floor. Good. Unfold that one. We're going to take one more stretch towards this straight leg. So we're creeping the hands forwards, breastbone pointing in the direction of your straight leg. Hold it for a deep breath. Good. And then you uncurl. You come over. We're going to frame or cross over if you want to extend the stretch. If you're happy with that extended stretch, you can lift the arm, lean over, so you're leaning on that back arm, and maybe just show the breastbone up towards the ceiling, get a little bit of a twist. Come back round, and then out of that position. So we'll do all the same thing over on the other leg. So straight leg comes in, tucks in. The previously bent leg is going to go out to the side. Just take a moment to kind of position your sitting bones on the floor there. You can use your blocks or your cushions if you need to. Toes pulled up towards you. Lovely, nice and tall. And then we're going to frame this straight leg, breastbone pointing in the direction of your big toe, and then creep the hands forwards. Get that stretch, hold for one breath. Good. Unfold, and then we frame this knee, just a hand either side to begin with, both bum cheeks firmly pressed in towards the floor, and just a slight lean forwards. Good stuff. Unfold it, and then we're going back over this straight leg again, so we're twisting round, creeping the hands forwards. Hold for one breath. Good. Unfold it, and then over towards this bent leg again. Now you can either just frame the knee like we did before, or you can bring the arm across, so both hands are now on the outside of your thigh, and holding it there. Good. Let's unfold that. We're going to go over this straight leg again. So breastbone pointing in the direction of your big toe. Creep the hands forward. Hold for breath. Good, come back. Either framing the knee, bringing the arm across, or if you want to extend that slightly, you can go into a lean, maybe opening the breastbone up towards the ceiling. Come back through, unfold from that position. Good, well done. Now we're going to come into a figure 4 position. I might need to just shuffle back a little bit so you can see what we want to go. That leg which was out straight, but out to the side, just bring it in front of you now. And then this foot that's on the bent leg side, you might need to just help it up and over onto that straight leg. So you're in this kind of figure 4 position. The aim is just to try and get this knee down towards the floor. Both arms out behind you, chest lifted, and pull the toes up towards you on the straight leg side. Now to extend this stretch, what we're going to do is bend your straight leg. So we're coming into this crossover. Now if I move sideways a little bit, we're here. The further back you are, the easier the movement is going to be. If you bring your hands closer towards your bottom, bring yourself into a more upright position, you're going to feel a stronger stretch on that crossed over leg. Let me come this way again. Got a bit of an angle. Now here, what I like to do is just take a little bit of a rock side to side. And just see if you can feel anywhere that's maybe a little bit tighter, perhaps you need a little bit more of a stretch. Okay, good. Now, what we're going to do, this underneath foot, this foot that's on the floor, we're going to lower the knee, still with the leg crossed, lower the knee gently down towards the floor and come over. So you're now in this funny little cross leg position, trying to get your sitting bone down towards the floor if you can. And we're holding that cross leg there. Now you can modify this by bringing the leg out if you want to. As always, just go with what feels right for you. If you would like to extend the stretch, we're going to reach over towards this cross leg side. It's kind of like tying yourself in a knot a little bit, isn't it? So I'm leaning on my back arm, levering myself around, feeling that pull and the stretch all the way around the hip, and then trying to get your forearm sort of parallel along the line of the femur, along the line of the thigh bone there. Lovely. Let's unfold it. Bring your weight back over now, so we're back to that sort of original start position, and just have a little wiggle in there again. Good. Okay, let's try that to the other side around now. So the leg which is crossed over, that's going to become your straight leg, toes pulled up towards you. The other leg is crossing over, and it's going into that figure 4. Crossing over, aiming to get the knee down towards the floor. Alrighty, hands out behind you. If you're happy there, stay there. If you want to increase it, then you're going to bring that bottom knee up. And remembering, the more upright you are, the more of a stretch you're going to get. And you can then just work on a little wiggle, a tilt and a tip from side to side. Seeing if there's one bit that perhaps feels a little bit tighter, somewhere that you need to spend a little bit more time working on. And then we're going to go over into that crossover stretch. So our bottom leg, the foot that's still on the floor, you're going to gently roll onto the outside edge of that thigh, coming over until you're in this funny little crisscross position, trying to get both bottom cheeks towards the floor. You can maybe extend that bottom leg if that makes things feel a bit easier. Play around with the position and see what works for you. But once you are crossed over there, then you're going to reach around towards the outside of your crossed over leg, elbow in towards the knee, twisting around, leaning on that back arm. So a really deep stretch for your hips, maybe around the lower back. Just seeing if you can soften into the stretch a wee bit. Forearm is along the line of your thigh bone. Good. And then we're going to untangle, hands out behind you, taking your leg back over into that original start position. You can then untangle the legs, reach your hands forward towards the knees, towards the ankles rather, and head towards the knees. So you're scrunching yourself up in a little ball there. Brilliant, well done. Now come all the way around so that you're going to lay onto your back. Bringing the knees up and in towards the chest, squeeze them in with a little rock from side to side. And as you do this little rock from side to side, think about walking the pelvis away from the ribs, so elongating the lower part of the back before then placing the feet back down onto the floor, feet and knees together, arms out to the side with the palms up to the ceiling, and tuck your shoulder blades in behind you. Both knees going over one way and head turning the opposite way to the knees. Come through the middle and take the knees over the other way. Head going the opposite way to the knees. We'll hold there. And we'll swap again in through the middle, over to the other side. In through the middle and over to the other side. Well done. One more each way. In through the middle and over. Anchor those shoulders onto the floor. In through the middle, over the other way. Good. Back into center. And then take both arms round and overhead, grabbing hold of either wrist and trying to let your elbows melt down in towards the floor. We're going to do one more to each side of those hip twists, but now having the arms overhead. So we go over, turning the head slightly, try and keep both shoulder blades down on the floor. Good, come back through center. Over you go. Both shoulder blades to the floor. You'll notice it just feels a slightly different stretch when we've got our arms up. Good, back through center. And then you can let the arms come down by your side. Soles of the feet together. Both knees flopping out to the side. And just take a little wiggle side to side here for me. Good stretch for your adductors, the inner thigh. Brilliant, well done. Slowly bringing the knees back in towards each other. You're then going to roll all the way around onto your tummy. And then we'll have you just propped up on your elbows, please. Toes tucked underneath you and just straighten those legs out. Squeeze the bum cheeks together. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then you can let the knees relax, but still try and keep those toes tucked underneath. You're going to bend one knee, so you've got your heel showing up towards the ceiling. Now, if you can try and pivot that leg one way and then the other way, kind of like a windscreen wiper, going one way and the other way. So we're twisting in, rotating in one way, twist out the other way, twist and in. And you'll notice when the leg comes across the body, it will probably go a fair bit further than when it goes out to the side. Let's just do two more here. Fab. And then we're going to let both feet rest down on the floor. Straighten the knees, squeeze your bum cheeks, lift the ribs. Good. And release that position, relax a little bit more. Now bend in the other knee. And we'll windscreen wiper, pivot and rotate here. One way and then the other way. Now you might notice one side feels a little bit freer than the other. You might have a difference right and left. You might have a difference in the rotation. But just give it a good old stretch and wiggle in through that hip joint. Brilliant. Once you're done, you're then going to walk the knees underneath you. So we're coming into your child's pose, your prayer stretch. Bum down towards the heels. Reach the arms out as far in front of you as you can. If you want to put a block between your bottom and your heels, you can. And again, just a little bit of wriggle in here. Find some movement. See if you've got one area that feels tighter or more stiff. And concentrate in around there, loosening it all up for me before we come onto our hands and knees. Knees going a little bit wider than hip width apart, hands positioned just underneath your shoulders, and if you splay the hands out a little bit, you'll then cat stretch and curve around and release out the other way. Looking up to your eyebrows, lowering the breastbone to the floor, and I'll curve. Open the shoulder blades, tuck the bottom underneath, and release again. We'll do one more in each direction. Brilliant, well done. Now next we're going to come up into standing. So you can stand up just in whatever way feels safe and comfortable for you, or if you want to join in with me, going through downward dog with a little foot paddle, then we can do. So if you're going to downward dog with me, tuck those toes underneath, brace the arms, tuck the shoulder blades in. We're going to push through the feet, lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling and trying to press the heels to the floor. So if you need a little bit of a bent knee for this, that's all good. I'm definitely not getting straight legs today. We're going to paddle the feet, one heel up, one heel down. Good, now just find a little moment of stillness there. Pressing both heels to the floor, send the tailbone up to the ceiling. Now you're going to walk your hands towards your feet. Once you've got your feet firmly planted to the floor, we're going to pull up through your core, roll up into a nice strong standing position until the chest comes open and you are standing up nice and tall. A quick posture check, equal weight between the base of the big toe, the little toe and the heel. Softness through the knees, tailbone tucked under, lifting the ribcage off the pelvis with the weight of the arms pulling the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen up the back of the neck, nice big smile, and that is your Monday morning stretch and mobility routine complete. So lots of quite deep stretch